Now, this is a question about actually past life. And I had
Yeah.
heard that people often have birthmarks where they were injured in a past or previous life. My
Yeah,
daughter
they
has a
can.
birthmark,
Yeah.
and she's 3, and I asked her, "Can I ask about this?" She said, "Yeah, okay." So she has a birthmark on her thigh.
What's her
Okay.
name?
Her name is Chloe.
Chloe. I'm sure she's darling. You kind of look like a movie star. You're so handsome.
Oh, I think
I thought that when I first logged on. I thought, oh my gosh, you look like a
podcast
movie
star.
star. Well, yeah, YouTube, right? You could be a YouTube star at least. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect into you and then from you to Chloe. And I'm going to ask her permission if I can do a past life thing for her, if I can scan her. I always ask permission first, even telepathically, because I believe it's an invasion of somebody's privacy. If they're not asking me themselves, if somebody's calling my show, they're asking me, or if they have scheduled an appointment with me, certainly that's their wish, but especially with medical stuff, because for instance, if somebody had pneumonia, well, I'm not going to look at their chest x-ray without their permission. That'd be a HIPAA violation. But we can talk to their spirit, and their spirit's going to tell us what it wants us to know. Just like the person who has pneumonia is going to tell us what they want us to know. So that's how I rationalize that. So all is not lost if somebody says, no, I can't scan them, because we'll talk to their spirit and get information that way. All right. So Miss Chloe, all right, I'm connected into dad. Go into her. Chloe, I'm talking to your daddy. Is it okay? She's saying yes before I even get the thought out or the way, all the way. Okay. Here's how I do past lives. I am an entrepreneur. So of course I have to do it a different way. Most people hypnotize the
Mhm.
person with the past life thing. I do what's called a past life scan. I want it quick, I want it easy, and I want it efficient, because that's the businesswoman to be quick, easy, efficient. So I envision myself, Derek, in this endless hallway, and it has very narrow walls, very tall ceiling. The walls are lined with 12-inch by 12-inch square mirrors. Each mirror represents a different lifetime, and they're on the walls, lined up in perfect vertical and horizontal columns. Does
Okay.
that mean I was potty trained too early? Perhaps, because I like order. I don't know, but these are all in perfect columns, both horizontally and vertically. So each mirror represents a different lifetime. We're going to ask a question. The lifetimes that correspond to that question are going to come out from the wall as if they're on a hydraulic arm. And then I'm going to say, show me the one that correlates the most. That one will come out the farthest. I'll envision walking into the mirror, kind of like Alice walked into the looking glass, in Alice in Wonderland, same concept. And I'll be given where it was, when it was, and a little bit about what went on. And then we'll see how it resonates with what's going on in Princess Chloe's life.
Mhm.
So here we go. All right. So does Chloe have any past lives that are related to her having a birthmark on her thigh? Is there a left thigh?
Left thigh.
Left thigh. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. All right. On her left thigh. Okay. So the mirrors that correlate with those lifetimes have come out from the wall. There are about 8 of them. It goes on endless. I mean, it's like goes farther than even the mirrors looking like dots. It just is never ending.
Wow.
So, all right, show me the one that correlates the most. It's already coming out. It's on the right. I see myself jogging down this little hallway, and then I'm in front of it now. It's about halfway up. I'm walking into the mirror. The year 1797 in Spain, Seville. Okay. 17. So what happened? She was a man in that life. She had an accident where she fell and she got burned there. There was if you've got a fire, you can have like a chunk of wood that's hot. It reminds me of charcoal briquettes.
Yeah.
that you use if you're using a
An
charcoal
ember.
grill. Yeah. It looks like but this is wood, and something happened that he fell and it burned him
Hmm.
at the time. Yeah. Name was Marcos, Marcos.
Interesting. We've
Yeah.
taken her to Sevilla. We've taken her to Seville, interestingly.
There you go. No coincidences in life. Yeah. Yeah. And he was 47 when it happened. It's interesting with the numbers. A 7 really is my favorite Bible number. Have you heard of Bible numbers?
No.
Bible numbers from 0 to 12. Actually, I have the chart right here in front of me. I was using it before we got on the call. They're from 1 to 12. Those are all numbers in the Bible that are used. You know how there's lots of numbers in the Bible, the 12 tribes of Israel,
Right, right, right.
the 7 days of the week. God created the earth in 7 days and all that kind of stuff. And it was because the Hebrews were illiterate, but they understood the significance of different numbers. So to keep some consistency in the Bible, there were a lot of numbers used because it was all oral translations and oral telling of the stories and all of that kind of stuff. And 7 means spiritual perfection. So 7's the number which regulates periods of gestation, 7 days in the week, 7 colors in the spectrum, 7 eternals in Hebrews. 7 is spiritual perfection. So most of the time, I would say 99.9% of the time when I'm doing a past life thing, there is a number 7 in that year. And then if we added all of those different numbers together and came up with the root number, what is that number? You're the math guy. What's the number?
We add the 47 age and the 1797.
I wouldn't add the 47 age. But I would add the 1797. What does that equal? You got 8,
24.
17, 24. 2 plus 4 is 6, right? So then you go down to 6. Interesting. 6 signifies in the Bible doubt, evil, failure, unfinished, man against God, creation of man on the 6th, serpent appeared on the 6th. So how does that relate to Chloe's birthmark? What I get is unfinished business. She came in and she's got lots to do in this life. It's not bad. Remember, all thoughts are neutral. But we've all been conditioned. Oh, you're talking about unfinished business and serpents and stuff like that. It must be even. No, it's unfinished business in the Bible that was signified, that 6 signified. So it's going to be fun to see what the unfinished business is in her life and what she does. Quick analogy that I like to use with past lives, Derek, is we come in with a script of things we want to explore. And I'll see that script. It's very general. Like, let's say you want to be a teacher or you want to be a scientist. Well, there are a bazillion ways you can be a scientist, right?
Right.
And so I'll see that script go through some semblance of that, go through multiple lifetimes. And we look at it from a different perspective, different place, different time, different gender, different situation, whatever. And the analogy I like to use for this is think of Shakespeare's Hamlet. How many times has Hamlet been performed since Shakespeare wrote it in 1602? Who knows? Certainly same script. Where was it performed? In what year? What was happening in the world? What language? Inside, outside? Who were the actors? Who was the director? Who was the costumer? Same script, different perspective each time. And that's what our lifetimes are. And time doesn't exist in the spirit world. So it's feasible that 100 lifetimes of 100 years may not even be a blip on the radar screen in our understanding of time.
Oh, cool. That's a great story. Also, I'll see if it means anything to her.
Yeah.
See if she can remember anything.
See if she's had any dreams about being burned.
Okay.
Yeah, or touching something that was hot that burned her. I you don't want to put ideas in her head, but just say, have you had any dreams about I would ask her if she's had any dreams about being a man. She just have her tell you about her dreams. And
Yeah.
you're on that frequency, right? Of 1797, Spain, Marcos. So she may tap into that same frequency. It may help her remember.